Hi all, welcome to LearnCodeRepeat. Today we'll be looking at day 26 of the October LeetCode challenge. The name of the problem is Champagne Tower. Let's look into the problem. So the problem says we stack glasses in a pyramid where the first row has one glass, the second row has two glasses, and so on until the 100th row. Each glass holds 1 cup of champagne. Then some champagne is poured into the first glass at the top. When the topmost glass is full, any excess liquid poured will fall equally to the glass immediately to the left and right of it. When those glasses become full, any excess champagne will fall equally to the left and right of those glasses, and so on. A glass at the bottom row has its excess champagne fall on the floor. The example that is provided is, for example, after 1 cup of champagne is poured, the topmost glass is full. So here the topmost glass is full. After 2 cups of champagne are poured, the two glasses on the second row are half full. So here, after one glass, only this particular row will be full. When you pour one more glass, since this is already full, so champagne will be distributed equally between the lower two glasses. So because of that, these two glasses will be half full. Now when you pour the third glass, so this will again be distributed equally. So this will be again both half full. So earlier it was already half full. Now it will be again half of the glass will be added to this. So this will be full. So on the third glass, both 1, 2 and 3, all three will be full. So that's what here it's given that after 3 cups of champagne are poured, the below 2 cups will be full. So in total there are 3 full glasses now. And now when the fourth glass is poured, so it will be distributed equally between the below two glasses. So here it will be 0.5, here it will be 0.5. Since these two glasses is already full, again it will be distributed equally between the lower glasses. So half of 0.5 will be 0.25 here, and half of 0.5 will be here also 0.25, and again 0.25 will come from this glass. So here it will be 0.25 plus 0.25, it will be half, and here it will be only 0.25. So at the end it will be 0.25, 0.5 and 0.25. So the question says, now after pouring some non-negative integer cups of champagne, return how full the jth glass in the ith row is. Okay, so there are a couple of examples given here. Let's take one more example. So in this example, the poured glasses are 25, the row to query for is 6, the glass to query for is 1, and the expected output is 0.1875. So let's see how we get 0.1875, right? So query row is 6. So this is a 0th row and 0th column index. So when it say query row 6, that means as per our starting index of 1, it will be 7th row. So here it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 6th row, last row. And query glass is 1. So this is 0 and this is 1. So this is the glass, right? The answer is 0.1875, which is same as expected. So let's see how did we got 0.1875. So the way we did the earlier example, we will do this in the similar way. So first 25 glasses are poured, right? So out of 25 glasses, since this can at max have only one glass, so the one glass will be used here, and the rest of the 24 glasses will be equally distributed among the below glasses. So below there are only two glasses, so 24 will be equally distributed. So here it will be 12 and here also it will be 12. Now again for this, it will use one glass and the rest 11 glass will be equally distributed. So half of 11 is 0.5, 5.5 here, and here also it will be 5.5. However, it will also get 5.5 from the above this class, right, from the top right class. So 5.5 plus 5.5, it will be 11. Here since it's the last end class, so it will only get it from the top left, the half of it. So half of 11 here, because 1 will be utilized by this particular glass and the remaining is 11. So half of 11 is 5.5. Similarly for the below row, so from 5.5, one glass will be used by this particular glass and the remaining 4.5 will be equally divided. So half of 4.5 is 2.25. So 2.25 will go here and also 2.25 will go here, but this particular glass will also get the half from the top right glass, right? So half of here it will be 11, right? So from 11, 1 will be used by this glass and the remaining is 10. So half of 10 is 5. So 5 will get added to this 2.25. which is 7.25. Similarly here it will get half from this and half from this, so here also it will be 7.25, and this particular glass will get half only from this, so it will be 2.25. So if you see the flow, right, what we are doing is the current glass value that we are having, we are subtracting 1 if it is greater than 1, and whatever is the remaining value, that we are adding that half of that value to the lower left and lower right glasses, right. So whatever is the value earlier, we are adding half of this value to that. So here earlier it was 0, so 0 plus half of the remaining here, right. So remaining is 1.25 divided by 2, that is 0.625 that we have added here, and here also it will be 0.625. Then when it comes to this particular cell, it will take 1 away because one glass it will be utilized, and the remaining is 6.25. So half of 6.25 will be added to this particular glass. Okay, so that way when we do that, here at the end we will get 0.1875. So for our logic also we will build in a similar way. So we will go through each and every row, and if the row is greater than 1, because at max the glass can only hold 1 unit, right. So if it is greater than 1, so after removing 1, that is after subtracting 1, whatever is the remaining value, that will divide by 2 and we will add it into the lower glasses. Okay, so let us code this, and while coding it we will see how we can build the logic. So I will declare a 2-dimensional array to hold the rows and columns. So result is a 2-dimensional array. So here I am adding 2 because this is a query row where the index starts from 0 and we have to go up to that last number, right. It is inclusive of the end range, right. So that's why we have to add 1, but also the current row, it is dependent on the bottom row, right. We are processing the current row and then we are adding the remaining to the bottom row. So we need one extra row at the end, right, to evaluate the current row. So that's why we are adding one more here. Similarly for the column, so that's why it's plus 2. Okay, so the first one, right, that is the first row and column will be equals to whatever is this port, right. Initially to start with it will have this port value, so I'll convert this to double and have this port value. Now I can simply define the for loop. So these are the rows and columns, so I am going over all the rows and all the columns. Okay, and please note that this is less than or equal to, because the end range is inclusive for both rows and columns. So I'll have a temp variable to store the remaining value, right. So first whatever is the current value, right, for that row and column, I will subtract 1 from it, and once I subtract 1 from it, I will divide by 2. So this is the remaining value that I need to equally distribute among my bottom rows or the row below my current row and the columns. So the left I will take the current column and the right I will take column plus 1 for the bottom rows, right. So that I need to do only if my temp value is greater than 0, else I don't need to do that, right. So if temp is greater than 0, then result of, since it's the next row, it will be r plus 1 and left will be c. So that equal to whatever is the current value plus the temp value. Similarly for result of r plus 1 and c, it will be plus 1 equal to whatever is the current value plus the result value. So once I go over this at the end, since query row is the last row, so at the end I will fill up the query row and the query class, right. So even though by this pyramid structure, right, every row has the same number of classes, right, whatever is the row count number as per one index, right. So for first row it will be only one class, second row there will be only two class, third row it will be only three class. But since in our logic we are only going till the query class, right, so we don't have to go over all the columns in that row. So that is the optimization that we are doing here. Okay, so if it is only third column that we are checking for, let's say the 30th row, right? So even though the 30th row may have 30 classes, but we are not going over all the 30th classes, we are only going over the 3 columns, because the value in those 3 columns will be from the above rows, right, and only from that particular column, right? So if this is the third column, right, so the value will be only from the second column or the third column, right? So it won't go more than that. So that's why we are using till query class, right? And it will be whatever is the query class plus 1, so it can only have plus 1 column, that will be the max column. So that is the optimization that we are doing here. So at the end we can directly return mat.min. So here it will be directly query row and query class and 1. So here why I am doing mat.min is because a particular glass can have at max only 1 unit of champagne, right? It can be only 1 glass full. So if it is more than that, then use 1 as the value, as the return value. If it is less than 1, then return that value. Okay, so let's run this code and see whether it works fine. So the test case is accepted. Let's submit the code. The code is accepted. So the complexity of this algorithm will be R into C, where R is the query row and C is the query class, and the space complexity will also be R into C. Now if you see here, the query row and query class is less than 100, and since we are using plus 2, so it will be 102. So we can say that it's a constant space and constant time, or we can say that it's R into C, which is query row into query class. So that's it for this solution. Please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.